As the ultimate battle against the ruling pharaoh looms over the horizon, Taima further prepares himself in now traveling to the city of Su in hopes of getting the answers he needs in order to further stop the pharaoh from ruling over his people, along with obtaining an ancient power that the pharaoh does in fact fear, which is that of the powers of a god of destruction, as on the previous video, the two future gods of destruction have been revealed to be Beerus and Champa. As the pharaoh had seen visions of this in his own fear of having to be dethroned, it is now up to Taima in seeking the answers to his questions and further being able to obtain the power he needs in order to challenge the pharaoh. As once more before we begin, if you are new to this channel and have a love and passion for all things Dragon Ball and anime related, then be sure to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon to never miss a single upload. And if you guys love and enjoy Dragon Ball and cannot wait to see more, then be sure to go on ahead and slap a big fat like down below by giving this video a big thumbs up, along with checking out the official Dragon Ball fan mangas playlist located down in the description box below, to where there you will be able to find all the latest and best Dragon Ball fan mangas created by the community for the community. So be sure to take a minute to go on ahead and check that playlist out located down below, as we kick off the Dragon Ball Infinite manga chapter number 6 special, with Taima having to leave with Mirai in hopes of stopping the pharaoh by further having to destroy the Fountain of the Gods, as of course we last left off with Mirai having to tell Taima that in order to defeat the pharaoh, he must comply with his rules. As Mirai then proceeded to take Taima away, we oversee a majestic and beautiful city, as Mirai then goes on to welcome Taima to the city of Su, to where the city itself not only looks more technologically advanced than Noobs, but is also a city and place to where in which it is run very differently in comparison to Noobs. And what I really enjoy about the setting is seeing how technologically advanced this civilization looks in comparison to the other, because we have two different kinds of rulings for this city in comparison to Noobs. Keep in mind, Noob loves to rule with an iron fist. He loves to dictate and punish people for essentially nothing. As we get to go back within the city itself, Mirai goes on to further tell Taima, go and explore the city, Taima. Relax for today. You have much more to learn. As Taima agrees, he goes on to venture the city and having to observe everything that he comes across, because he had never seen anything like this before. And again, you can tell based on the hieroglyphics, you can tell based on the overall setting, the symbols, everything seems to take that of an Egyptian approach, which there is a lot of lore behind this fan manga in comparison to the ancient times of the Egyptians. But as Taima sets his sights on the city and he begins to observe and looking around, keep in mind, he had been lied to and kept around ever since he was a kid, because Noob simply wanted to use him for his own personal gain to reinsure his position in A, never being dethroned, and 2, staying in power. Because Noob had already figured out in the future there will in fact come about 2 gods of destructions, to where one of them is set to rule this current universe, which assumingly enough is Beerus. And as Taima overlooks the city, out of nowhere someone cries out, "Hey! Hey Taima, is that you?" And as Taima turns around, he goes on to ask, "What are you doing here, Russo?" As Russo goes on to tell Taima, "Well, it's a long story, but to make it short, my dad got locked away for taking up to the Tots, so they brought me here and have been taking care of me. The only thing I have to remember him by is this sword. I think the better question is, what are you doing here? You've changed, like, a lot, a lot. And that's coming from Russo. His hair's grown out more, and he does remember the events of what happened with Taima. As he quickly recalls Taima transforming into a great ape, he goes on to say to himself, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, you're not gonna turn into that monster again, are you?" As he immediately points the sword towards Taima's face, Taima goes on to tell him, what are you talking about?" As Russo goes on to say to himself, he doesn't remember? Okay, well, never mind, buddy. As he goes on to put the sword down, he goes on to ask Taima, "Okay, so how about a drink?" As Taima agrees, we notice how they begin to eat food, they drink, they catch up on old times. As Taima goes on to ask, "You know, Russo, I just want to thank you again for finding me that day. I seriously would have been dead without you." As Russo turns his head, he goes on to tell Taima, "Well, to be honest, you should really be thanking Mirai. He's the one that sent me after you and told me where to find you." And as Taima overhears this, he goes on to reply, "What, man? Yeah, he's something else. Regardless, Russo, you were my first real friend, and you were the first person to ever do anything for me besides my mom. As Russo's seen chewing on fish, he goes on to tell Taima, "Wow, that really bites." As Taima then goes on to ask, "You know, I tried to make friends growing up." As we then quickly have a flashback to a young Taima, we get to see how Taima really tried hard to make friends. As he goes on to state, "When I was little, I wasn't allowed to leave the house, only to work. And not all during the days of darkness. But every once in a while, I would sneak out and follow these kids to a small oasis. They would all dare each other to jump into the water and fight in it, and it looked fun. Until one day, I decided to approach them, and they threw rocks at me, until I eventually went home crying. The next day, I did the same thing, and they would throw rocks at me again. And they brought these rocks with them just for that purpose. Every day I would show up and let them throw rocks at me, hoping eventually they would want to be friends with me, but eventually my mom noticed and I couldn't sneak away anymore. My mom told me not to rush to judgment, that I don't know what those kids had been through themselves to make them that way, and that made me feel better. She was good at that." And with Russo overhearing this, he goes on to tell Taima, "Wow, that's a really sad story. Nothing like a little food and drink won't fix, and besides, you've got me now, so let's dig in." As we see them both hammering away, eating food, drinking drinks, this was the first friend that Taima had ever made, because he was lied to by the Pharaoh, he was deceived, he was condescendingly brought to work for the sole reason of having to further the Pharaoh's agenda, so everything this kid had been through was for a specific reason. As towards the end, once Taima ends up waking up after blacking out, Mirai then goes on to tell Taima, "Taima, now that you've had the chance to rest, it's time to get to work." As Mirai brings Taima to this massive pyramid that oversees the city, as the manga chapter special comes to a close. Now, we are going to have a continuation at some given point, as the creator is working on the next series of events right now, but what I really enjoy about this is everything that we're getting, everything that we're seeing is basically the calm before the storm, and the storm is coming. The storm is going to be Taima at some point getting the powers of a god of destruction and fighting against the Pharaoh, but the only question is when. We understand that in this fan manga, Taima at some point ends up becoming the god of destruction after finding out about the god water and god key and the future gods of destruction to come. The one thing the Pharaoh does fear right now is being dethroned and defeated, so what better way than to have Taima redeem himself in getting the powers of a god of destruction and finally being able to finish off the Pharaoh. So again, I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below about this story. How do you guys feel about Taima right now having to do the work of Mirai and getting ever so closer towards that goal? Do you think that when Taima ends up fighting the Pharaoh, he's going to lose or succeed? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody. Once more, if you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to never miss a single upload. We are so close to 600,000 subscribers, guys. I'm hoping that we can break that goal by the end of the month. So my mission to you is to take this video and share this video, share the channel on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you can, so we can finally meet that goal of 600,000 by the end of the month. Also, guys, the Raikon manga is going to be dropping sometime this month as well. So again, keep your eyes and ears out for that one. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. Once more, tune back in for the next video, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys down in the comment section below. Also, join my Discord link located down below, and I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Take it easy, guys. Peace.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
Also follow UnrealEntGaming on these social media platforms to stay connected at all times. And if you don't, then very soon you will all be dead! Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck's up? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes, but Jesus Christ, that's huge! What, Broly?
Freezer.
Uh-oh.
Prepare to die!